Hey, Jack,
Yeah,
your packet might be a little bit out of order.
okay.
I moved,
I just get in, Linda, and I noticed there were two packets. I tried to open up one and I didn't get any luck, but I will, as you're going through, I will open it up.
okay,
I'm just trying to save the screen that I have for the website that I've kind of built,
Oh,
halfway built and sent you stuff on it, but
okay.
I was able to print them off, so you
I-
shouldn't have any trouble.
I just moved the tax recap information in front of the exemptions. That's all I did. The rest
okay.
of it's fine.
Okay, I think we're on air. So I'm going to call the meeting to order. Thank you very much, Matt. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast live over the Lunenburg Public Access Channel on Facebook Live on the Public Access Facebook page. The meeting can be found at the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The meeting will be held in person at this location, which is the Bellata Room, today at 6:30. It is December 18th. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. We are also providing a Zoom capability. One of our members will be participating via Zoom, so we will have to take roll call votes, and we will have to introduce ourselves before we get started here. Okay. Members of the public are welcome to attend. Please note, while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting will not be suspended nor terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. I've already mentioned members of the public with any particular interest should plan for in-person. From a computer, please join the public meeting webinar. The meeting ID is 302-003-9690. Apparently no passcode is required, even though one is listed. From a telephone, you may dial 888-475-4499 and enter that same webinar ID, 302-003-9690 #. The agenda lists all topics which may be discussed at the meeting are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by the open meeting law. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and we each need to introduce ourselves. I'm Brian LaFawn, the chair.
Sarah Kammer, Vice Chair.
And I'm Linda McQuaid, the principal assessor.
And John Rabbit, assessor, Board of Assessors.
I think
Whatever
you're
we are.
clerk.
Oh, yeah, that's right, the clerk, okay.
Yep. So I thought we were going to have some participation, but maybe not. Are there any opening comments from the board?
No.
None from Sarah? Mr. Abbott?
I've been busy today, Brian, but I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Okay. There is no one here from the public. Is there anyone on Zoom from public?
There is no one on Zoom other than Jack.
Okay. We'll move right to the status report from the principal assessor. I think Linda has a lot to share with us today.
I do. Jack could give you a packet, and
Okay.
I'll just go through the first items. We had our tax recap, and our tax rate was approved by the Department of Revenue on Monday, December 9th, and our new FY 2025 tax rate is $14.36 per thousand. And in the packet, I just provided some documentation on the recap, and then the breakdown of the real estate tax, sewer liens, and all that. It's in the packet, and our personal property tax.
1436.
Also,
Oh, you're not reading through this? You're going
oh,
through something
no,
else now?
yeah, no, I'm actually going through this plus the packet.
She showed us the tax recap.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, are we allowed to ask questions as we go through, or do you want to get through it first?
Well,
Linda?
what's the,
So this packet is kind of included with the items here.
That's your monthly
what's the
accomplishments.
first item you want me to find in this packet?
The first item, yeah,
And Mr. Rabbit's question was, should we ask questions as we go?
you, Yeah, you're welcome to do that.
I think that's probably the.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
I don't have that one.
So
Hold on.
let us know which piece of paper he needs to look at, because
Okay.
they're not going to be in the order that you just,
Okay,
Doing-
so the first piece of paper says Lunenburg 2025 commitment. It's a tax recap
Okay.
page, and there's 3 pages, and also our commitment.
so what's it
Okay.
look like? Can you show it to us?
Yeah, that
Okay.
page there.
Meeting
It just,
packet.
it
Yep,
says
that one right
Lunenburg
there.
tax bill at the top.
Yep, Lunenburg
Yeah.
2025 commitments. Yep,
Where does it say that?
tax bill run. Yep,
Oh, mine
that
says
page
this.
right there.
It says Lunenburg tax bill run at the
Yep.
top versus.
Right.
But that's not what you said when,
20, we also have 2025 commitment on the top of mine, so,
there's no 2025 on ours.
That's not
Okay.
on ours.
all right,
Sorry.
sorry about that. Well, it's the same.
Okay,
same information.
Lunenburg tax bill run.
Right, okay.
I'm sorry, now you can explain it. 'cause I
Okay.
can't.
So this is from the recap page, shows the tax rate, which is column E, and then the breakdown of the residential, the levy, and then the percentage, and also the levy by class. The next, under this chart, is just a breakdown of the commitment from the bill file, how many bills there were. It's the breakdown of the sewer liens, the real estate tax, and also the personal property taxes below that.
Linda, is this the same packet the selectmen saw last night?
No.
This is what we
Oh.
signed,
Okay.
right?
So,
This is what you signed in Gateway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the first grouping, I see the tax levy by class in total is 33,899. But I don't see 33,899 on the second grouping.
What are you referring to?
Well, there's a count of 233, and it does not say levy by class 32, or 33,899,749. It says
33 million.
277, yeah, thank you. 33,899,749.36. It just says 277,711. And that's,
Where's the 277? I'm having trouble reading this thing.
yeah.
Oh, I probably should have
Oh,
given you.
here it is.
That. It's
No, no, I
probably
got that.
confusing you
Are you
more.
reading this?
You know what? Look at the commitment,
But that's,
look at the commitment. It might be easier, which is.
which one's the commitment? Look,
It's state tax form 54.
This one.
It says assessor to tax collector, state form
Okay,
54, Jack.
got one of those.
Okay, I
Yeah.
can't, I've got too
This
many
one right
screens.
here.
I'm-
Yeah.
Okay,
that?
let me see if I can find that one. Yeah, because I knock Zoom off as soon as I go to the other screen, that's my problem.
It might be
Okay, I believe
easier,
in you,
Jack,
I
if
believe
you
in you.
just
I'll
open
look at it, I promise, but go ahead.
It
Okay,
might be easier if you just open it in Gateway, Jack. All of this is in Gateway.
Yeah, okay, I will, just
Okay.
keep going.
I probably
I'm
gave
sorry.
you too much information.
Well, as long as it all sort of flows together,
Yeah.
but I'm not seeing where that happens yet.
So this is the commitment, so this is the whole breakdown of everything, the real estate, the personal property, the senior work-off, sewer liens, and the betterment, and then the total here. This is, I need you to sign it this tonight.
So when I look at this, we've got,
Oh, the difference. It might be because of the,
these numbers don't make sense to me.
That's where I am.
We've got 33,000, we got, I keep
33
saying thousand, I
million.
apparently can't read millions anymore. And this is around 17 million.
yep.
This is 33,899 million.
It's broken down between installment 3 and 4.
So this is half?
Yes, that's why.
But when I add that to, if I multiply that by 2, I get at least 35 million, and this is,
No, it's right here, installment 3 and 4. 8, 4. If you look at the real estate, 8
8 million.
419, 663, and 55.
Okay, so,
And then 3 and 4.
so this is the whole year.
Yep.
And this,
then-
we're looking at installment
3 and
3 and 4 combined on the second
Yep.
page. So I think I get it.
Yeah,
This is the whole year
that's the breakdown.
installment 3 is here and 4 is here. Those two add up to be that.
That's the commitment. This is where we took our numbers from, was these,
Sorry,
this sheet right
I
here.
underlined the wrong part.
Plus the
Here and here.
Personal property.
So if you add those together, I get 94 in the cents, and if I go over here, I get 99 in the cents, so I don't think they add up. I'm still not clear.
Let me get my calculator.
Yeah, I mean, this says 99 and this does definitely, those two together is
I,
94.
rather than add the whole thing up, I could just add up the cents, and the cents don't come up to the same cents.
Let me see.
Plus, this is really testing,
Yeah, it's hard to see it.
this is really testing my progressive lenses.
Okay, this does add up. On the real estate, if you do, it's easier if you look at this right here, because it breaks down installment 3 and 4, so real estate matches what's on this State
Okay,
Form
so-
54.
Where does it match? Tell me where it matches.
Okay, if
There-
you look at the real estate,
Are we, sorry,
right
are we
here,
looking at the grand total of the real estate tax?
look at the real estate
It's
tax.
the one that says
Okay. So,
Lunenburg tax bill run.
but if we add those two installment 3 and installment 4, the cents don't add up there either and match this.
This is what I added up. Oh, you want to look at that. It's confusing because it breaks down everything. So this is how we put it in the form.
It's certainly confusing, because I'm confused
Yeah.
as hell right now.
Okay,
Okay, so what are we supposed to be looking at? The real estate line?
this is the whole breakdown here. These two add up to this, the real estate. And we had to add up all the sewer, which we put together here. Mylene wanted us to add
Okay.
it here.
So,
And then personal property is these two, installment 3 and 4.
but in the end, this number is
Okay.
not right.
That's the total number of everything
Yeah,
on the
so-
commitment.
Every,
The real estate line right
I got
here
it.
is,
I got that, I think.
Yep.
So the very top, on the one that says State Tax Form 54, Jack,
Yep,
is 16,839,300.72. And if you look at this real estate numbers on the second grouping of the one that says Lunenburg tax bill, that's
8 million.
419,663.55, plus the installment 4, which is 8,419,637.17. Those add up to what is on this page.
State Form 54 is what you want to go by, because these are the numbers on the commitment. This
I want to make
form.
sure they
Hang on.
match, though.
They do match. Yeah, it's just the way that, this is just the backup for that. So I just added up the personal property and we match. So the real estate matches installment 3 and 4. The personal property also matches that.
So, ultimately, we're going to be signing this State Tax Form 54, Jack.
Yeah. State tax
The
54.
first item is confirmed on the other document. If you go back to that grouping that says Meadow Woods Water Betterment, Meadow Woods
Yeah.
Water Betterment, the 15 plus the 15 something or other, indeed add up to the 31,337 that is on that Meadow Woods Betterment int. And if you look at what Meadow Woods Betterment for 25,000, that is the sum of the next line item on this document.
Yeah.
So it appears these do match. They were just not clearly highlighted, I think.
Yeah. That's just the backup for those numbers that are on that tax form.
And I think I see where the sense issue is coming in. If you look at the bottom of this tax bill run for personal property tax, and you add up installment 3 and you add up installment 4, you get,
41 cents. Oh, I'm sorry, 11 cents, yeah.
yeah, 555,000, I keep trying to do that, $423.11, and the cents are left off of this personal property number right here.
So
It should be 555,423.11.
is this a document straight out of the
It's done-
Gateway?
Yeah. It's
So they-
not a gateway, it's a form that we have. So that might have dropped off.
Yeah.
So
Add that back
that's the
on.
only one that doesn't have the cents on it.
Yeah.
I haven't looked up the senior work-off yet.
Senior workout programs, 8,674.05.
Yep.
And I don't see that on
not
these
on
That,
sheets.
let me see if that's on here. We have, I might have that downstairs, that number. Yeah, I'll have to verify that. I have that downstairs, the senior work-off.
The senior, so
$8,674.05.
on this document, but we don't see it on
I
this
don't
document
have
at
it
all.
on this one, but we do have it
The
downstairs.
sewer lien is entered correctly. The sewer principal matches at the, well,
Yes, it does.
the sewer interest lien and the sewer lien match, and the sewer principal
Privilege fee.
privilege
Principal.
fee.
Mhm.
I can't find that.
It's on here.
Oh, there it
The
is.
third item on this
Yes, I
one,
see it. It's under total tax, column 3. Fifth one down, my God, I can barely read this.
It's very hard to, that's 5,898.04 cents for that, between installment 3 and 4.
Sewer privilege.
This came directly out of Munis, this printout,
The sewer correct.
another 90.
Fee is. That's correct. The betterment.
the 733.66 matches.
The Meadowwoods betterment doesn't, there's 2 betterment lines here.
Yep,
So one of the lines matches, the other line doesn't. Do you see that?
Yeah, I do see that.
Oh, because there's, so,
This-
so the second line is the 25,000 that's
He-
here
Yep.
matches up with the
the
second
12.5,
line.
yep.
And then the 31,000 matches up
The
Yeah.
top line.
with the first line.
Yep.
Yes.
So they're just, the 25 is the one that's on the second line, that's right there, yep. I know, it's- that does match up, those two.
So the
If we have-
2949.05 and the 2948.99 add up to the 5898.04, so we're okay there.
Yep.
I can add up the whole thing and see if that 11 cents that dropped off is added in that total.
Yep. $90.
Yeah, get to 99, I get 0.
23 is 16, so that one matches.
Eight oh nine seven five. Oh, this kind of round.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's what I did wrong. That is 83, 88 cents.
It's good.
16,287. Okay.
How come this isn't dragged forward?
6482.42.
Yeah, the 11 dropped off, so it should be 17,890,751 and 10 cents.
751 and
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes
That makes
That
sense.
should be the total, so 11.
Having said that,
the 11 cents.
this,
11 cents.
well, that just threw the thing off, but, so we don't have the senior work-off program on this page
No, we don't.
at all.
I have
So-
the documentation downstairs, but it didn't appear on that. That was entered in separately.
Right, so we went down this whole list,
Yep,
and it looks like everything matches, except we don't have the confirmation of the senior work-off, so
Yeah.
we're okay there.
yeah.
Okay, so you have a, so this is it for this,
Yeah,
okay.
for this.
Okay.
So,
Put that all together, and then we'll
Am I
go on to
supposed to
something else.
sign
So
if they revolve
there
or-
is a copy that we need to sign, and we need to sign tonight?
yeah, but I'm going to revise, I'm going to add in the 11 cents and then adjust this, because the 11 cents dropped off.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to add that in, and then I'll need you to sign it.
Will we have to come into the office to sign it? When does it need to be signed by?
Would you be able to come in and sign it?
When does it need to be signed by?
How about tomorrow or next week? Is that
I
possible?
can come in tomorrow and sign it.
Okay,
I
But
can too.
Sarah's not going to be around during the day.
okay.
I can sign it. I
Can you
come
come
and
in
sign
tomorrow, Jack?
The office is
I'll come
supposed to
in
be open
tomorrow.
until 6.
Yeah.
it. And,
won't
but
make
that's
it.
the last day I can do it,
I
because
can
I'm
see
gone for about a week and a half after that.
What was that, Jack? I'm sorry.
Yes, I can come in tomorrow, Brian, and I'll sign it. And I just ask Linda if it's okay, you just step me through a couple of those pieces. I'm having a really hard time seeing it.
Oh, yeah, you can't. I
And-
will,
And I can't scroll out of this, otherwise I lose this, and that's okay.
I printed mine, you don't,
I just need
And
to
I
get
just,
on Rena's
Brian, I just
computer.
walked
Who
in,
did
you
this.
know, and so
no,
anyway.
no, I appreciate you
Brian.
Yeah,
making the effort to be
Yeah,
here.
but I could try and print it out of this, but I have,
I wish we
you
could
guys are
sign it
light
like
years
this,
ahead of
but
me.
I can't.
But I'll step through it. I'll try.
Okay,
Okay?
So that's
As
everything.
long as you get your signature and you two are satisfied, I trust you.
it does match, other than it doesn't have the senior work-off program on it,
Yeah.
but she has that documentation elsewhere as well. So we
Okay.
can confirm that all the data is correct, except for that one piece, which we'll check tomorrow.
Yep.
We can sign it tomorrow. So we can take a motion to approve contingent upon the corrections, I think. Is that fair, Sarah?
yes.
Okay. Jack?
So moved.
Okay. Any other questions on state tax form 54?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Rabbit says aye, Ms. Cameron says aye, and Mr. LaFawn says aye, because we have to do
Roll
roll
call.
call.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry.
So we are in agreement. So we'll come in and, actually, Jack and I will come sign it tomorrow, Sarah will not be able to.
Okay,
So that's, those two.
okay. The next one in the packet is the LA4, which is the assessment classification report.
So how
I
big
just
is it? Okay.
provided that just as a summary of what you've already seen this and you have approved it, but I just wanted to include that for reference.
Sorry. Does that say LA4 on it?
No. Well,
So we
it says
can't-
assessment
Says-
classification as of January 1st.
Okay. Jack,
Yeah.
the
I'm sorry.
documents
I'm
that says
still scrolling
assessment,
through what's bouncing around. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
the one that says assessment classification report as of January 1st, 2024.
That was fine.
That's the next one that we're looking at.
Yeah.
That was fine.
And that had already been signed.
And approved.
We don't need to do anything with
Right.
it.
No, just for reference only,
Okay, thank you.
okay? The
And
next
that's these two
piece.
pages?
Yep, that one's all
What's that?
set. The next one, I provided this information to Izzy. This is the top tax.
What's top of the report say?
It just says fiscal 2025, and it has 10
Emerald-
businesses on it, Emerald Place Development. These are the top 10
It's a,
taxpayers.
it's the top 10 taxpayers. It's a landscape document that starts with fiscal 2025, and the first business is Emerald Place Development.
Okay. I have it on the screen now.
I just wanted to
No
point
place
that.
development. I have to turn it sideways though. Or I can turn it sideways.
See that. Thank you.
So this is just for reference.
So the top 10 taxpayers pay almost $2 million worth of taxes. Is that right?
I thought it was Brian LaFont.
Say again?
And I thought it was Brian LaFont.
It is. I'm right up there with the Tennessee gas pipeline.
That's correct.
Somebody has gas. Anyway,
Unitil. A lot of it.
go there. So this is just FYI.
FYI.
Thank you.
I thought it would give you,
We're moving on to something
Okay.
else.
all right. The next item on the monthly report is that the Board of Assessors approved 109 exemptions for FY 2025 on December 10th.
Oh, that's your report now, okay.
Just provided that list, which we entered into Munis for reference.
Hey, Linda, can I just jump back?
Why?
To the first question before I was done. Hey, you said the new tax rate's 1436. What did
Yep.
we tell the town?
1437.
37? Okay.
36 per thousand.
No, what did we tell them originally?
Oh, 1437.
During the classification hearing, we
Yes.
told them 37.
Excellent. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
So these exemption reports show that we have 4 people who are eligible for the blind exemption. There are 15 that were eligible for 41C,
Only 15 now?
for 41C, yep,
And what was the blind number?
4. It's on the,
4, okay.
it's on the report that she's,
It's sideways.
is it sideways for you?
Yep.
Okay, there were 3 eligible for 17D.
Really? Okay.
The veterans are broken up into some subtotals here.
Yeah,
So V1 is veterans 22. There are 57 of them.
right.
V3 is 22E, and there are 23 of them.
Okay.
And then there were 7 more that were veterans of 22D.
Which is
Was
the
that-
full.
So
That's the full disability?
What's that?
That's the full disability?
That's the full
Yes.
tax refund,
Yeah.
not the full disability. We don't, it's the full tax refund.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the full, okay.
So that, the 57 plus 23 is 90, plus the 7 is 97. So there are 97 veterans that were approved at the executive session on the second.
Okay, hey, Brian, you said 53
What?
for that was V0 or something? Because I have V1 is 22, V3 is 23, and I
No.
missed, okay.
There's-
I'll go back and look and I'll flip it around.
There's V1, that was 57.
57, okay, I'm sorry, okay. And then
There's
V2 with 22, huh?
V3,
It's 20.
which is 23.
Yeah,
And there is vet, it's called vet,
okay, that was 7?
20.
and it's 22D, and there were 7 of those.
Okay, good.
The
I
sum
just
total was
didn't
whatever I
hear
just
right.
said, 97.
97, perfect. Okay. Hey, now, Linda, there is a redemption apparently that we received from the Veterans Administration for these veterans that we give exemptions to. Is there a reimbursement on that? I believe there is. I was told there was.
Yeah, I will need to
And-
enter them in to Gateway.
Yeah, that should be included in that
What,
in terms of net cost to the town.
yes, we're not there yet, but yes.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No,
'Cause
no. Well,
I'm taking
this
you
is-
down a road I want to
This is
go.
just the amount of exemption. All we're talking
Right.
about right now is the amount of the exemption.
Okay, and that shows up in
There
your
will be payback
thing.
through, we'll see through Gateway.
Okay.
I don't know.
Next year,
Probably not for quite some time.
yeah, I
Okay,
want to say around April time.
Well, I
May,
had,
April.
since it's not really due till April, my guess is the report wouldn't come out till May.
Yeah,
Because we can still accept more of these until April.
right,
yeah.
right. In terms of, I'm interested in the percentage that they get reimbursed, and I don't know if it's across the board or
not a
how that
percentage,
works,
it's a
but we can
fixed
go back to
amount.
last year's. I'll find that out.
We
Find
can
that
adjust,
out.
we can talk about that when we get.
Yeah,
It's not,
Yeah.
it's not a percentage, it's a fixed amount.
Fixed number? Yeah, I know they're all fixed, and I'm thinking maybe we do something, but let's keep going this, I'm
Like-
sorry.
Like the ones that we moved to 1,000 this year,
Yeah,
we still only get 500 back, actually, we get
that's correct. We're in the hole for
491 or
that.
some odd number.
Right.
So,
502, I think it is, on the 41
seems like,
Cs.
I don't know, maybe.
We can definitely look it up.
Yep.
It is 502, Linda, you're
We
right.
don't have that for
It is.
now.
It's too
Right.
premature.
We took care of that, that's good. Okay.
We still may get
Okay.
5, 10, 20 more. Who knows? What's the next report we want
Okay.
to look at? Oh, okay.
The next one is the new flyer that I designed for the exemptions, Jack.
Yeah, I just got that, Linda, and I was going to try and, I sent you a note, I'm going to try and see if we'll insert that into the presentation you're doing in February, and we can talk through that.
Yep.
That's great, thank you very much, and I know you're cooked. I know you're totally cooked right
Remember
now.
we had that portrait listing of who was eligible for what, and you couldn't really find
Yep.
anything on it, and it was never right. This is, I think, a really nice way to
Yes.
present it. You group the veterans, the elderly, surviving spouse. It's not just spouse, as we know, but that's how we've highlighted it, because we could change that if you want. But there's not much room there.
Between 17E and 17F.
The 17E and F aren't just spouse. It could be surviving
Oh, right here.
I
child,
think,
right?
yeah, I think it's important to highlight that, because then the only other thing that says it's eligible for are people over 70
Oh, in the,
and under 17E and 17F, which is,
Yeah,
it's also an eligibility thing for minor dependents.
right.
Although that's a rare case, but maybe there's somebody supervising those
Yeah,
minor
so
dependents.
that's, we probably ought to,
Yeah.
I have a limited number of space there, but I could try to abbreviate.
Could you make, could you expand, like, hit enter and make 2 rows and just push this down?
I could. I
oh,
suppose I
make
could do
this
that. Yeah,
wider?
Yeah.
do it right under, add another row
I just
across.
think it's important to
this is
include that.
a-
It's the only thing that
I know.
impacts.
I know, that's true. It's, this is nearly complete. And yes,
Yeah.
we will include it in the packet when you go do the presentation.
oh, yeah, yeah. I sent Linda some stuff
And,
this
and
afternoon.
I'm going to suggest also that once it's complete and we agree to it, then we stick it out at the website.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we wanted to have something for the elderly when they come in, at least
Yep.
with the different clauses, the amount, and just to break down and the requirements, so it would be easier for them to understand the exemptions. Okay. That's it. Okay. The next item, it's the fourth bullet. I worked with Randy Mercier, who was a consultant that the town has hired, and I worked with him quite a bit over the past 2 weeks on the FY 2025 actual billing. We had a bridging issue, which caused a duplication of parcel IDs and also exemptions in Munis. So I was able to resolve that with him last Friday. Actually had to delete, we had 163 exemptions at one point when there was just a total of 109. So I had to go through them and delete them. And we also had an issue with an extra digit on some of the parcels being duplicates. So the end result is that we will need to get a new bridge. And that's something that we will be working on in January. And we'll have to work with both Vision and Munis to try to design that. And we are not the only town that's had this issue. I have a friend in Randolph that actually had the same issue with the exemptions being duplicated, and also yesterday they had a general accounts receivable error that they were resolving. So, but it's been resolved. The tax file was sent to Kelly and Ryan, the bill print company, so we are on our way, thankfully.
Linda? Brian, Mr. Chairman? Linda?
Please.
Hey, I received a call today with regard to a condo group on Oak Ave. I don't want to say any names.
That's coming up
around.
later.
Okay, that's coming up
Yep.
later? Okay. Oh, I'm just
Okay.
wondering
Oh,
if
okay,
that
yeah.
was part of the computer
No.
Yep,
glitches.
it's
Yeah.
not. We'll
Okay.
talk about that later, though.
So,
Good
Okay,
question.
thank you.
Hold it, please.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry.
I did want to mention that it was a great group effort with Izzy, the finance director, myself, Munis, Randy Mercier, who was a godsend to this town.
In lots of towns.
In a lot of towns, he works with many towns, but he was available pretty much Friday, Saturday, whenever we needed him, so he really was a big help in this whole process.
So as we all know, Town Hall is closed on Fridays. Our principal assessor is not scheduled to work on Fridays, and she spent most of the day Friday here in the office because she doesn't have a laptop from the town. So there's been a request that's been made by Ezzy, thank God, but we could have made it too, to get her a laptop so she could actually do the work from home, because everyone else was working from home. And this poor woman had to come in here and spend the whole day by herself.
That's okay, and nighttime too, but
And nighttime,
Got it
yes.
done.
Hey, Linda, was there Saturday involved in that too?
Unfortunately, the IT department was not available on Saturday, but our consultant was willing to work Saturday, and Izzy was going to work Saturday as well. But we needed to get the Munis training refreshed, so that was the issue. We had a few hiccups, but
So just to be clear, we had people here in town who were willing to do the work on Saturday and Sunday, but Suzor was not working Saturday and Sunday. In fact, didn't respond to our request from Thursday,
Friday
Friday,
afternoon,
until about 11 o'clock on Monday.
yeah.
So clearly it was critical and crucial for them. Okay, maybe not.
But
So we can be less than satisfied with their support at this point, if you'd like.
but
But
we did get it done.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to, Mr. Chairman, if I could, I just want to say, Linda, you and your team are doing so well. You really are holding this together. You're pulling the pieces nicely. I am so impressed when I go in the office, but I'm also so impressed with how you're handling the public. You're doing great. You're doing really, really good.
Thank you.
So-
We're trying our best, and we still have things that come up from 2023 that we continue
Oh, I know.
to try to resolve.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that feedback, and
Okay.
we all agree.
I'm sorry, it is so loud in here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know.
Is it bothering you?
But I agree with you.
Oh, it's bothering? Okay. I'm going to move on to the next item. Motor vehicle excise commitment number 6 was sent out at the end of November. This is something that was already approved. I did just want to mention it because it was kind of in between our last meeting. And that consisted of 396 bills totaling $49,562.24. And the Board of Assessors approved it on November 20th. So that's actually the last commitment for the year that the
Oh,
motor vehicle will be sent
we're not
out.
going to get another one?
I don't think so, because
Are you
it's in
sad?
December.
No, I'm just surprised, because,
Yeah. Normally, it's like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But it's so late now. And that was,
not sad at all.
unless it comes in the next week, but I
Well,
haven't heard anything or received any emails.
okay.
Okay. And then the next one, we received 39 motor vehicle excise tax abatements in the past month, and they were processed in Munis and now await payment processing by the tax collector. So I can gladly say that we are up to date now with processing our motor vehicle excise tax abatements. They're being done every week now with, by Robin, and she's picked up. She's doing very well with that. The data collector continues to follow up on building permits. We have actually put in a request to Vision to have our database be static, which means 25 will be locked in, and then we will start working on fiscal 2026 in our CAMA system. So we have a lot of items. Denise has been out inspecting. We had to put it on hold, so now we can start entering those into Vision and get ready for 2026. The next item, I actually met with Chris Riley, who's our new planning director, last week, and we've been having a few issues with plans and deeds not matching up. It's starting to become an issue for our department, and I actually included a couple of references here, but one of them has actually resulted in a tax title issue. So Chris and I have come up with a new system where when he gets the plan, he's going to actually require that the deed be updated, because we are finding deeds coming in to the office where there's 2 parcels on one deed. They're not continuous, and it's causing some confusion. And if the deed isn't clear and it gets entered into our camera system, it's going to affect the bill in the end. So this is we've noticed it over the past 2 weeks. I did include one.
Linda? Oh, sorry.
Mr. Rabbit?
Thank you. Linda, upstream, who creates this and who confirms it before they forward it to you? Is there a functional job description, or not a job description, some sort of a functional design or a flow that says these people are going to do what before you get that?
That's what the planning director said.
Yeah, the planning director. So what happens is the plan is generated if somebody splits a parcel. I did include two references of two situations that have come up. One where a plan actually divides a parcel, which is called a parcel A, and unfortunately, the plan is different than the deed, so there's confusion. So it comes into our office as a parcel A, which is a new parcel, but there's a discrepancy on the plan, which the homeowner came in and said that, oh, well, no, I'm selling off 4,400 square feet to my neighbor, and this should be included in his parcel. Well, the deed doesn't say that. The deed only talks about that 4,400 parcel, which is parcel A. So there was a discrepancy between that. So
Okay.
we're going by the deed, and the two homeowners came in, and we've asked them to go back and have new deeds for each one of those parcels to adjust the square footage, just because of the confusion. And we want to make sure that it's correct.
They need to work with their attorneys,
Yeah. This
and
is
then that all has to be filed with the, what is it called?
the registry.
Registry of Deeds.
Yeah. The issue is that if it's not taken care of by the attorneys and someone goes to sell their property,
Yeah,
and we do have another, I included it in the packet, the second parcel where one deed sells off, one property sells off, the other one is never corrected, and in one instance, the two properties were put in the name of a person that bought one of the properties. So you should really have an updated deed if you're going to be transferring property, and the
Right.
plan isn't updated. And that's been the issue, is that we need to have that clear so that we can understand it. And it's a matter of, it should be done when the plan is created. There should be a new deed, or the plan should be clear enough so that we can understand it. And then if someone goes to sell this property, they're not going to have an issue later on when it's being transferred.
right. So if I could capture that, Linda, if that's okay, Mr. Chairman? Okay, so our planning department failed to cause the reconciliation in the very beginning? Would that be fair?
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Jeff.
Okay.
He's trying to fix blame, and I think that.
No, I'm not
the
trying to
has
fix
gotten
blame,
us-
I'm trying to
Well, I
find
mean,
out-
you said our planning department failed. You started
No.
with that, so don't say that.
It's not
they
our
didn't-
planning department, it's more on the attorney
The
end.
attorneys and created a deed that they registered,
Yeah,
so it's now a registered deed. Our planning department may or may not have a subdivision plan somewhere that matches that. There's been, I think, if there's a failure, it's in not being able to check that the deed matches whatever the plan that was filed was. So
Right.
her conversation with Chris was to start to address that.
yeah.
Right, and that's really good. And there's going to be something that comes out of it that says, okay, our corrective action is going to be some sort of flow that gets validated, and maybe it gets documented.
This seems to be the corrective action.
It is.
Yeah.
So, once Chris's department creates the plan, the homeowner takes it to the attorney, and the attorney creates the new deed. That's
Right.
where it really, I think some of the attorneys aren't really correcting the deed
Okay,
to match the plan, which is where the confusion is coming in for us. And unfortunately, it gets done, if
and we
it's
have to
not
go
correct.
spend money cleaning that up.
And if somebody brings a deed to us, we were just recording it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're not
Now there's a
responsible.
communication between the planning department and us to make sure that if we get a deed, we're going to go back to the planning board and make sure that we are on the same page.
yeah.
Okay.
And we also want to make sure that our maps are correct. So that's the other thing too, is everything has to match.
So which things were the ones, you said you had a couple of examples
So-
here. Which ones are we going to be looking
So
at?
this first one is for the,
The one that says
Parcel A.
Houghton Mills at the top?
yep, it's 4485 is the little piece that was broken off. And as you can see with the plan, it's got that piece. But the discrepancy comes where that plan kind of is a little confusing. It talks, and I'll read it, it's really hard to read. It just says that the purpose of this plan is to create parcel A, non-buildable lot, and then it says parcel A is transferred from parcel, and it gives a parcel number to another parcel number. So it almost sounds like that property is being transferred on the plan to the new owner, but then when the deed came
It's
in,
really hard to follow
it is very hard to
what you're,
follow.
what you're trying to say
Oh,
here.
okay.
I just have piles of paper.
Okay.
Right, so there's this piece of paper that has Houghton Mills on
Yeah.
the top.
Yep.
There's a pizza wedge shape here near the top middle.
Yep,
That piece was being
transferred,
transferred,
yep.
and apparently it wasn't captured properly everywhere.
Doesn't match the deed.
Right, but you were turning pages and referring to
Oh,
another thing, so
okay.
I didn't
Right.
know what you were talking about.
All right, so yeah, so this, and then there's another copy of that. So this is the deed.
Okay.
So the deed
So
references.
the one that says quit claim deed,
I really only need one person to talk.
A617, well, I'm trying to make sure that Jack can hear, because,
Oh, I can hear, Brian. I can hear. And Brian, if I could just clarify something, I'm never trying to fix blame. I'm trying to look at failure points and how the system could have potentially captured that.
okay,
And there'd be 10 reasons that happened. But how does our system capture that stuff? And we do something to make sure that it happens. I don't know if we have any kind of inspection points in there to make sure that we're meeting the intent of what we're trying to deliver. And so if we have a few different points, there should be some sort of, okay, it's going to go to this person and they're going to sign off on it. And then it's going to go to some other place and they're just going to confirm the other person signed up. It just doesn't sneak through the system. I'm trying to do it from a systematic perspective. There's nobody blaming anybody because there's 14 reasons why it could have occurred. Let's just get a flow in there that is checked, you know, and
understood,
that's all we're looking for.
understood, I apologize for using the phrase.
Okay, thank you.
Move on?
Yeah, I did want to mention one thing. Jack, we can only go by the information that we're given from the
That's
registry
correct.
deeds.
Right.
So it
Yeah.
creates a lot of confusion for us in the office if we've got conflicting data. So
Right.
that's why I met with Chris, so we can come
Yeah.
up with a plan to at least get some clarification and make sure that the deed and the plan are coming in correctly.
All those efforts, Linda, that you put in to fix that is the thing called cost of poor quality, COPQ. And if you were to come back and look at those multiple points, you're able to very easily identify how much it would cost to fix that and how much poor quality cost it's generating. And you'll be able to do anything, most likely in terms of getting manpower and resources, as long as you can identify there's a return on this investment.
We
So,
all know
okay.
that there's a benefit to doing it right, so I think we're all
Yeah,
set there.
so
She has
let's-
identified a process to try to fix this with Chris, so I think we can move on from this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, I'm sorry.
Were there any, you had another example, you
Yeah,
said?
the other one, can I say the address?
Why not?
Okay.
It's not a,
Okay, 809.
unless we're talking about abatements or,
Okay, 809, 813 Chase Road. There was an issue with this one, and one of these properties is in tax title right now because of the confusion with the deed. The deed in 21 references 809 and 813 Chase Road, and then 813 Chase Road was sold off in 2024, and the problem was that the
And that's-
original deed for 809 was never changed, so this is the thing, is that,
And that's these pages?
yeah,
all of
that's
these?
pages, yep. And that's, right now, that property's in tax title, so I had to, actually, on the last meeting, we had actually did a revised bill for that one.
Okay.
That was what was signed off, so I just wanted to give you this just for, so this is something that's been a pattern that's been happening in the office for the
Right.
past couple weeks.
Well,
And that's it for that.
we found over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It happened, God knows
Yeah.
how long ago. Okay.
Okay.
Is that it
That's
for
it.
the rest of these pages?
Yep.
Yep.
The other
Okay.
thing I wanted to mention was we did also receive 3 abutters lists in the past month. And then I have goals for next month. We need to generate our FY 2026 forms of list and mail those out. Abatement period starts from January 1st to February 1st, so we're already starting to get ready for our FY 2025 real estate and personal property abatements. And we also need to review our FY 2025 chapter land applications with the Board of Assessors. And that's it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
would it make sense if we've got
You
one
need to
month?
speak up a little, we can't
Oh,
hear
I'm
you.
sorry, Brian. I'm almost at the head of the machine. If folks only have 1 month and they're unsure of the tax bills or unsure of what they could be doing, would it be behooving of us to say, besides take a look at your property cards, but to go ahead and just file an abatement, and we might be able to sort it out before they, otherwise we have
I'm
to
sorry,
go.
I'm not sure what you're suggesting.
I'm suggesting that we urge the public, if they have any questions, to file an abatement. And because otherwise we'll be in a 58.8, Linda, is that a 58-8 situation?
8 of 58?
8 of 58? I'm sorry, 8 of 58, 58.
He's talking about that.
He's talking about a specific one.
But-
instead
No,
of-
well-
Instead of a general.
You started
Because-
by saying you wanted to encourage people, if they have a question of any kind, to file abatement?
Before
Is that what
the
you said?
February 1st, otherwise they're locked out.
That's what you said?
Yeah,
Okay. Is that a motion?
I'm asking for a little discussion first, but
Well, we can discuss it, but personally, I don't think we ever encourage people to do an abatement. If they have a question and we can't explain to them when they come into the office, they always have the option of doing an abatement, and we always offer that to them as a way
Right.
to resolve their issue. I don't think we're going to I would not want to actively be encouraging everybody in the world to come out for an abatement, which is.
first, I think your point made is give us a call and let's see if we can't come up with an answer. But if we don't answer them, let's get them in the queue, because remember, we can do a lot as long as they get that piece of paper into us. But otherwise, and if they come back a few months later and say, I didn't know this, I didn't understand this, then we're in a situation where we've locked it in. And unless we go through, apparently the 58-8 is going through an act of Congress. Is that what it is,
A
Linda?
specific thing instead of an overall procedure.
Jack, I would just encourage people to look at their property record card.
Yep.
When they get their tax bill. If they
Yeah.
have any questions, to call the office. We will
Right.
gladly go through
Or stop
the
by.
record card. They can stop in the office. And we do, if there's a discrepancy or something that they disagree with, we always encourage them to file an abatement. And the period
Right.
starts from January 1st to February 1st. February
Right.
1st being the deadline by statute.
The question is, can you handle the load effectively in a short period, in that 1 month time frame? Remember, you only got 4 days and basically 4 weeks. So you're looking at 16 days. Can you handle that load and get back to them fast
Of
enough?
course we can.
Okay.
It's been the same, except for the 1 year when we had craziness going on.
Yeah,
It's been the same, similar, not exactly, but a similar amount of questions and abatements that have come through over the last several years. We handled 40 last year in less than a month, 40-something, 44, whatever it was.
42,
I don't,
it was.
well, we wound up approving
42, yeah.
42. I think we turned a few down.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was 40-something. I don't see it as a problem that, I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to address, what problem you're trying to address.
I'm trying to address a situation I became aware of a little bit earlier, but recently, where there was a mistake was made. And Linda, you want to go ahead and answer this question better than I could with regard to people potentially petitioning to go back and get their last year's tax abatement done. And I'm afraid that if they miss that window, we're going to get pushed into that 58 chapter. And so can we do to protect ourselves and not drive ourselves nuts? And my first concern is our citizens not getting locked out and not being aware. And so we definitely want to put together a massive information campaign. You got from January 1 to February 1st, and take a look at it. It's really hard, and call us really hard. But it's not gonna. They're not all gonna do it.
So I think I understand what you're asking for. From my perspective, I think we already handled it in the office, so I wouldn't do anything differently than we've done. And if you want to make a motion or have further discussion about that, we can do a little bit, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because we don't have all night.
Then Mr. Chairman, could I make a motion that we buy some time in the ledger to tell folks that they have from the first, when you get the tax bill to the 1st of February, to make contact with us and potentially file an abatement, put something out there that lets the public know and causes them to look versus discover afterwards and then get locked out and get upset and angry or cry.
Okay.
I had somebody.
We heard your
today.
motion. It's really lengthy. Your motion is to put something in the ledger?
Yes.
Okay. I'll second it, just so we can get a vote. Is there anything else you want to talk about that?
No,
Okay.
that would be good.
All in favor of the motion? Mr. Rabbit, you have to say so over the,
John Rabbit, aye in favor of the motion.
Brian LaFawn, no.
Sarah Camera, no.
The motion fails. Okay, let's move on to something else.
I was going to just mention the fact that we can't go back in time for last year. If
You say we can't?
we cannot,
Right.
Jack,
We know that.
Yeah,
we don't need to clarify that
Right.
since he's bringing that up? Okay.
It's,
Okay.
Now, if you want, I'll read you the ruling, and yes, we can. If it was a mistake that was made, an error that was made,
the only time you can do that was the 8 of 58. So we already know about
8 of
that, so we
58.
don't need to be talking about it. We know that's there. What else do you
Okay.
want to do? We've already voted on it. What else do you want to do?
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that, we need to somehow create some sort of awareness campaign that's going to get people looking and will minimize the amount of stress that goes on.
We've already voted on anything additional.
Okay, thank
Move
you.
on. What's the next item?
Okay. We have the minutes. I actually have the executive minutes.
Oh, good.
To approve.
Because I started modifying some of the open meeting minutes, and they're really lengthy, and I haven't really finished, and we're
Robin
going to
actually
have to
typed
let
this
them
up from
wait until the next time we meet.
last week.
these two.
We can do the executive session, though, please.
Okay. Robin typed that up, so, from our last meeting.
Is there any mention of specific?
No, it does not say
That's the
specifics.
exemptions meeting?
Yeah, I can actually read it if
You
you'd
can,
like.
I think you can read it as long as we don't talk about any specific
Yep.
individuals.
The minutes of December 10th, 2024 executive session, the board members who attended were Brian LaFawn and Sarah Cammer. The executive session started at 7 PM. The review of exemptions for fiscal year 2025 commenced. 41 seniors, 41C seniors, 1,000 exemption. There were 15 approved and 4 denied. Of the 4 denied, 2 were approved for 17D, qualified for that. 1 was denied because they didn't meet the requirements, and 1 needed more information. For 17D, that's a $185 exemption. 2 were approved and 1 was denied. The 37 blind, $500 exemption, 4 were approved for that. the 22D surviving spouse or minor dependent of 100%, no. 22D surviving spouse, the 100% full exemption, service connected to death, 7 approved. 22E, there was an $1,000 exemption for 100% disabled. 22 were approved. The other 22 exemption was a $400 exemption, which 59 were approved for. The meeting adjourned at 8:56 PM. And that reflects what I recall of that session.
Yep, me too.
So
with
motion to
that.
approve.
I'll second.
Aye.
And you weren't there.
I weren't there, so I can't help you.
Okay.
I recuse myself. Or
Thank you.
Thank
is that the right one? Expression?
you.
So that'll go into the folder or wherever the executive session minutes go. Thank you. That was the December 10th.
Yep.
August 19th was approved previously in the minutes, so
Oh,
we
was
can
it?
take that one off the list.
Okay.
I saw it in the minutes a couple times.
Okay.
Great.
I motion we pass over the remaining minutes until all three of us can
Yep.
attend in person.
We don't even need a motion. We'll just go
Second.
on.
All right, are there any invoices?
I do have some invoices.
Okay.
I have an invoice for a stamp.
There's a motion
For you.
for a
your-
self-thinking
US
stamp.
PS stamp or
Yes.
what?
A stamp so that we have permission to stamp our motor vehicle.
And there's
A big-
Special discount.
yeah,
so it's being rushed, but we're not getting charged for the rush.
yeah.
Ah.
So,
The invoices for $43.57 for stamps that have our signatures on them. So that
Individual?
when we're doing exemptions in the future, we can just go,
Are those individual or a group? Meaning that all three of us get stamped or?
there's 3 separate stamps, right?
Yeah,
it's today the 18th.
3 separate stamps.
well, it's actually one stamp with 3 signatures.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One-
That was what,
One stamp, but there's 3 separate, each of your signatures.
That's right.
so, no, so the answer was no, it's not 3 separate stamps, it's 1 stamp with all 3
stamp
signatures.
with 3
Which means it
signatures.
will be, we probably, okay.
I can get a stamp for each individual,
That's,
which I probably will do.
because our terms end at different times, we probably should do that for
Yeah.
future reference.
I will. This was just.
This will
kinda-
get us through this year.
It will. And then I'll have to order, they're probably going to be about $43 for each one, so
Ooh.
I will start that process. So I'll have to
Right.
have you each individual sign a piece of paper. And then I can send that to the company.
Thank you.
If you want to do that tonight with the two of you, we can do that. Piece of
Let's,
paper.
we don't need to do anything until the next election, or
Okay.
someone leaves the board.
Sounds
Right.
good. Okay. All right. I actually had Carter look at this. This came from Vision Appraisal. This is just a reference item. You can also sign it as well. He did approve our interim for 2026 with Vision. It's a contract.
Oh, for the,
$4,800, which is well worth it because of all the analysis that they did for us this
well,
past, during the
but
class.
they'll have to, this is for next year.
For next year, yep.
So this is the contract for Vision to do the interim assessment valuations for this coming year. And the amount was 4,800?
4,800. I have an extra copy if you want to.
Hope that means they're hiring more people.
I know. And the,
If they don't complete it by September 30th.
I was
can we
gonna say
refuse to
that.
pay?
I will actually mention that to Pat Donovan.
Pat
I will
being?
question the deadline because I know it went a little bit beyond that.
It went, wait, over a month
It was-
beyond that.
It
Yeah.
made it problematic for us. I would rather see them deliver it by August 31st, because then we might get it by September
Yeah.
30th.
Yeah. I'll question that deadline.
Pat's the
He's-
contracts person at Vision?
Yeah.
We don't need to sign this? This is just FYI?
Just an FYI.
Okay.
Yep.
So you heard all that?
Those are extra copies if you want it.
Oh,
Do you want it?
I'll have one. I would like to have one.
All right. And then I just have 2 motor vehicle abatement for you to sign. And these are the abatements, and then the
Oh, is this the
total.
last one?
These are the, yep. And again, we are up to date with all of our motor vehicle abatements. At least on our end, as far as processing, the tax collector, I'm not sure where they're at, but we are processing on time.
Now that we're fully staffed, we're actually catching up.
Yes. Yes,
This
This
is
is the-
$242.27, and the other one is?
$3,460.39.
Wow.
That's 23 abatements on this 3,400.
Oh,
Yeah. That one, I think, is only, it has.
about 6 or 7.
7.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 8. Oop. You got to sign the top one too, right?
Yeah. Usually.
Sarah's just hogging the top, the first line to herself.
Lefty
Sarah.
privilege.
No, it's okay, I don't really care.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I
Wish I had
have.
a stamp.
That's it?
Well, if I get the stamp, I can just stamp that with your permission. of
The
course.
problem with the stamp is it's probably,
It is.
Gonna be outdated.
Yeah.
and
as
these
soon
go
as
this way.
Yeah.
So if we had individual stamps, that would also
Yeah.
solve that.
What I can do also is not print the signature and just stamp it. So I could do that as well.
Okay,
So that's-
works for me.
Or not have the lines there. Yep. Okay,
That it?
that's it.
Okay.
Chapter land
Yep.
applications?
What's
Is
that?
that what, there's another comment, the chapter land applications with the board? Linda?
Yeah,
Well, that-
the deadline was December 1st for submission on that. We'll be reviewing that at our next meeting, those
Okay.
applications.
That's a goal for next.
Okay.
Next item on today's agenda is the assessor conference at the senior center.
Oh, you love it. Okay, I can give you a quick overview, or I can actually take you through parts of it, but it's not anywhere complete. Okay, so anyway, February 3rd, 1 o'clock. We have our invitees going on, and let me get this PowerPoint up so I can see it. Assessors conference, no. Okay. So we have essentially they worked on the topics. I've spoken with Sue Dougherty quite a bit in terms of what the citizens want to hear. I've also had a chance to make contact with our first attended speaker, was Margaret Scarsdale. She has an agenda, and I could show you all the topics, but we haven't ironed them out, and I spoke with her tonight. She's kind of really bad cold, I guess, all week. In either case, she will be getting back to us with regard to that, but it's an update from Beacon Hill. Then I've got, the next topic is a Lunenburg senior housing update from our select person, Michael Ray Jeffries. And he's got a whole pile of topics. The big, I could show you if you want to see it, but the big references, I'm trying to put pictures of people as they're speaking, and Michael's not happy with this picture. So anyway,
Let me interrupt for a second. Can we do a little big picture? So how long are you expecting this presentation to be?
we're saying it's going to go anywhere from 1 to 3.
1 to 3 hours, or 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock?
1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, 2 hours, and it'll probably get, and I'm sure it'll get shorter than that. But right now, that's the segment that Sue gave us.
And you have,
And
go ahead, sorry.
okay, So Michael will be doing his on, it's really a kind of interesting pile of updates. The ADWs, accessory dwelling units, that'll be affecting us and how we're doing. Community housing progress, 55 plus, and some municipal design progress. And that's only the first topics, and some may fall off, may not. The next piece is with Linda. And Linda, I sent you over that deck of potential, but it's a lot of pieces in there that aren't there. Essentially, it's Lunenburg tax exemptions, updates, and notable benchmarks. And then one of them includes the document you just saw, Brian, with regard to how the exemptions go. And again, we're asking folks we're going to be reviewing it. We're looking at any of the, if we go to 41, what are the changes that have occurred in the last year or two? And are there any costs associated with that? And the same thing, we're doing it on the 41 series. We're doing it on the 17 series, the legally blind, 37, 37A, and then we're going into the veterans piece. And I've received 3 calls maybe now with regard to asking us to take a look at the veterans piece. And that would be all. I'm not going to share names, but yeah. And they've pointed out that there are 2 exemptions sections, and I don't know the numbers, but the full exemption is for somebody that's surviving spouse, someone that we've lost in a military action. That's the full exemption. There's no piece about that. The exemption were veterans who've suffered from legs and feet,
So-
and eyes.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
We are familiar with what the exemptions are, so you don't need to explain them to us. Just tell
Oh,
us what you're
okay.
going to do about the presentation, please.
I'll just stay on the presentation. Okay, so I'm going through that, and then we're going to ask, we want to take the opportunity for Linda to share some of the performance metrics and the notable achievements that have occurred. And that intent is to essentially build confidence of the public that our office is doing a great job, and that will assure us the ability to get funding for what we're going to need. We don't want to go through another situation where someone says, oh, you don't need that, you don't need that. So I'm trying to build some confidence with that, and that would include some of the highlights and such. The next piece is a section we call the game changers, where we talk about the circuit breaker and clause 41A deferral. It's better than we thought, and at the same time, if my numbers are kind of looking like the same, looking appropriately, anybody that's looking at, how many we got there? Oh, we had 100. How many people do we have working the 41 side, Brian? Did I not write that down? Anybody that qualifies is probably going to qualify for the circuit breaker. And I know you can only file 1 exemption at a time, but the deferral is not an exemption. So there's a real possibility that we can bring in quite a number of those folks into the deferral program. I'm pulling together some
So
numbers right now.
You're again going through the content.
Okay, I'm going to the details.
I
Okay,
don't
so
really
we're
want
going
the
to talk about
content. I just
that.
want to know what you want to lay out for an agenda.
Yeah.
And how long that might go. You've just said 2 hours,
Yeah,
up to 2 hours. You've got 3
Right.
speakers at least.
4 myself included.
Yourself,
Yeah.
okay. So 4 speakers, that's good, okay.
And then that'll be it. I've got to prepare some packets for them, and I'm going to be asking, Michael and Margaret if she needs any. Of course, Linda, you're going to have a few. You're going to have a good number like we did last time. So that will be it. I now have to put together something to get ready to get that into the senior newsletter pretty quickly, I guess.
Okay.
And
So-
announcing the conference.
The pieces that Linda is going to present and the piece that you're going to present, you have for the next meeting or the meeting after that? So we can review it? I don't
think
really
we
want to
can-
review what Michael Ray has to say because I can't. I don't really want to review what anybody else has to
okay.
say, but what we have to say from the board,
Yeah.
from the assessor's office, it was something that we all need to review. So
Yeah,
we don't know when our next meeting is yet. We haven't decided that, but the
okay.
first meeting
So-
in January, perhaps?
Yeah, my intent, it has to be in January, is to continue working with Linda And you and I have been going back and forth now, right, Linda? And so we can come up with something that's gonna work, because I need to have the stuff that, on both sides.
I would-
It-
I would really appreciate for the things that Linda and you're going to present, if we could get them before the meeting, 2 or 3 days at least, so that we all can review them and spend our meeting time effectively.
Before our meeting.
Yeah.
That we'll review it, so that'd be good. Yeah,
Yeah.
if we can get a little bit of time.
We will try.
Cool. Anything else on that?
No, that's it, it's just rolling along now.
I had heard that you were considering bringing more of the assessor's office down there. Don't think-
Oh.
I don't think that's a good
I
idea.
was asking,
but
okay.
I'm asking.
Part of that was to, very quickly, was to essentially introduce to the public our 2 new folks and say more good things about the assessor's office and how it's working together beautifully. And just doing a general introduction. I'm trying to help the folks that are our 2 new people to feel closer to the public and the public closer to them. And it's just a good practice, like we,
So
if.
if you'd like
and
to make
let's-
that as a motion, I'd like to talk about it a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, I'm totally with it. And I've asked Linda to get pictures,
So
those people.
was that a motion?
I'm sorry.
Was that a motion to bring the whole office down there?
Well, the 3, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I guess.
I'll
yeah.
second it, just so we can have the conversation.
Okay.
I don't think it's a good idea. And there are several reasons why I don't think it's a good idea. Linda is the face of the assessor's office. She needs to be the
Right.
assessor's office face and will continue to be the assessor's office face. We have someone up there who's required to answer the phones and do some other administrative stuff. If we send everybody down, then we have to close the office. I want the office to be open, especially at that time, because we're talking about abatement time. So I don't want to close the office even for an hour or 2, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Denise only works in the mornings, so you're asking her to come in for extra time or to not
Okay.
do some work during her regular work hours. So I would not support bringing the entire staff down there. I want to just send Linda.
Okay.
You have an
send it.
opinion?
I certainly think you can invite them, but I think they should be able to decline if they would like to.
I would support what Sarah has recommended. Brian, we're doing this because we need to put a face to on the other side of that telephone. We need to have a chance to have as many people as they know see it. It's like writing an email to somebody. You can get real nasty. You get real
I get it,
nasty
but
with
they've got the
phone
face of Linda, so what else do
Okay.
you need? So,
I would modify the
I mean,
motion.
I feel bad that our staff sometimes have to go to meetings at like 7 o'clock when their workday ends at noon. So I think it's nice to invite them, but I think it should be totally optional.
to go down to the senior center?
Yeah, except for Linda, who is, as you said, our
Linda's
face.
not, Linda's not
It
on.
has to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Linda, what do you think? Sorry, I'm.
I agree, Jack. I think it's a busy time of year. We're going to be starting the inspections, and I know that the other staff members do not want their photos taken, so
Okay.
I've
well,
already
it's
asked
not about
that.
photos, this is going down to the.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Well, I think I could just go myself.
Okay.
So,
I thought it would be an
motion-
opportunity for them to meet the public, allow them to understand
You
there's
said
a
that.
lot of nice people.
You said
And
that.
I have
So-
said that.
So-
And I'm going to probably continue to say that. The more we can create a
so,
human touch.
okay, but
on
we
the
have a
other
motion
side-
on the table, and I don't really have a lot of discussion on it. So we can either vote on the motion, which was to let invite all 3 people down or not. So.
Okay, I'd like to modify my
All in favor of
motion.
that, I believe. Please say so. Mr. Rabbit?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to modify my motion
Okay.
to invite them and leave it totally optional up to them.
Okay.
I like Sarah's
I'll
recommendation.
second that modification because I was the seconder on the motion. So the motion is to invite them. Mr.
At-
Rabbit?
Aye.
Ms. Cammer?
Now that I'm thinking about it, I would feel awkward as an employee being invited and not knowing what to do, so I'm going to say no.
That's a no for me, so this one's not happening. Linda will
Okay.
come down. Thank you. Update on the recap and tax rate.
I think we could skip the next two bullets because we already talked about that earlier.
We did pretty much.
Okay.
Yep,
The exemption flyer as well.
yep.
We talked about that.
Clause 41 and 17, assets income level adjustments for exemptions.
Yep, you and I talked about that. We were going to talk about the COLA for next year,
Okay.
so. Because this year we can't add the COLA,
Right.
so
Yeah.
next year we will be adding the COLA. So,
Right,
This
because
was,
of how it
but
was voted.
this was the item to try to ask the town if we can change those amounts as though we had accepted the COLA previously. And if we want to bother to try to do that for spring meeting. That's why it's on here.
Because what we voted will take until.
No, because what we voted will take us back to a starting point that was at the beginning when the COLA was first introduced. As opposed to, if we had accepted COLA at the time, we would already be up to so instead of 24,000 as a starting point, it would have been 33,000 and some
Yes.
change, and then we could build COLA on top of that.
And that's what we'd like to
So
get
the
to.
intention of this item was to talk about those, what we'd like to present and how we go about putting it together. And we do have to put together a pretty aggressive development process because we're going to have to have stuff in for the warrant or ahead of time.
Yeah.
We will have had to have figured out what the implications are, what the costs are, and what the potential costs are. So we need to do a bunch of work between now and mid-February. So I wanted to keep it on the agenda.
Yep.
So that's the item that we really want, because I think it makes sense, personally. And maybe once we get the data, we'll go, oh, it doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
and we have
But-
a number of those exemptions. We know how many
A couple
roughly
that
people
we
in
could have,
town.
yep. So I don't know how we want to go about doing this, but I'm just keeping it in front of us. I'm trying, maybe we don't have to do anything today. But I don't want to lose track of it. I don't want to lose
Well-
sight of it. It's important for those people.
It sounds like we have to draft an article that says what we want it to go
Right.
back
And
to.
it's not as straightforward an article as we might have had in the past. This is fairly convoluted, so we will have to make sure that's very clear and concise. So
Would you like to draft such an
I
article?
don't even really want to try, but what I'd like to do is get through all those minutes that we have to,
Okay.
so, or unless somebody else wants to take some of those minutes. I guess I'm not hearing a lot of people jumping forward.
I'm sorry. Which ones are you, you're on this one, right? October 2nd.
I went back and redid a bunch of October 2nd. There's actually some more stuff that probably needs to be in there.
I
But
think I could look at November 20th and November 6th to take those off of your docket.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I will try to draft something for the adjustments for the exemptions, so that we will have made people whole again, to where we think they should have been. Okay. Outline for neighborhood site evaluation consultant in response to the DOR directives. We probably need to write something up
Yes.
about what need be done. I don't know if you want to try to draft something, Linda, after.
yeah, we can do that. I did speak with Becky Boucher today about that. She wasn't just talking about site indexes for the lake, she was talking about
No, no.
all
it's-
neighborhoods.
It's the
Yeah,
whole,
we-
it's
we
all,
know.
it's the whole
Directive,
town.
Yeah,
Yep,
so
it's the whole town.
we should look at that and then come up with a plan for,
Yeah, I have, a list of what the working group came up with for what those neighborhoods seem to look like. And I can certainly provide that
Okay.
to whoever is going to be the consultant. But yeah, it was all the indices, because it doesn't look like they have really been revised for, I want to say like 20 years.
I would say.
At least.
Yeah.
And so you can see what it might have been before people purchased certain houses, tore them down, rebuilt a new style house, and whatever that site index neighborhood was before. And of course, the working group found that the site indexes were also doubling as neighborhoods, when you really can have neighborhoods and then indexes that address the differences in properties within those neighborhoods.
Right.
And that is what the goal should be. I'm actually happy to work on drafting that with you. It just has to be like back and forth with a discussion
Okay.
at some point. And I'm not really that available during your typical working hours. So I could write the things that we came up with and turn them over to you if that would be effective.
Yeah, that would be
For
good.
you.
And I know Rena and I and Denise, we would like to get a consultant. I just don't know if we have, I'll have to see the budget this year.
We have to make the
But we-
proposal. And
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
it's not, maybe we put together a proposal, we can't afford it this year, we do it the following year, but it's got to be done soon because
Yeah,
we are already 2 years into, essentially, 2 years into
I think
a 5-year period.
it doesn't hurt us to write the proposal to have it ready for whenever it will be
Right.
funded.
Right.
And if we don't have the proposal, it will never get funded, so we should just do it, in my opinion.
Right.
right.
Do I need to make a motion?
No, you're going to take the lead for us, thank you, with
Oh,
the-
you're welcome.
I think that's what we heard.
That's right.
I did volunteer myself,
You
yeah.
did.
I'll do those minutes, too.
And those minutes, thank you.
Okay.
Assessor website, you said you had some stuff to cover, Mr. Rabbit?
Only what we had discussed last time with regard to having a table of contents and and a listing of the materials in the back, but Brian, I haven't done anything on it.
Oh, I thought you said you had something more to add. I had a conversation with the web developer, and one of the things that you had mentioned were pictures, photographs, and there are no photographs on any of the other websites here in town. And she's concerned about, especially with AI, security, and there is no policy now for the town to put pictures out there, either of our employees or of our board members. So,
I could have sworn there was a couple of photos in a few of the departments.
you might have photos of people in a work group doing something, but their names wouldn't have been listed.
Yeah, there was no names.
There's no
It may have been just a
headshots.
fire truck or
There's no
something.
headshots or any of that kind of stuff, so
Yeah.
at this point, I don't think we should ask her to do anything like that.
No,
The other stuff, I've actually opened up a conversation with her, but I didn't get a chance to go through it. We've been fairly busy trying to get the bills out.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, I didn't ask for that one.
Okay, thank you. We talked about potentially putting together an assessing calendar at some point. We probably ought to do that, but again, it stays down near the bottom of the list.
I do have one on the wall
While,
already.
yeah, while we have stuff that is more pressing, we need to do
Yeah,
that, so.
yeah.
At some point, we probably ought to do an assessing calendar. And then, Board of Assessor policies, we talked about starting to open those up at the beginning of next year, because we just are running out of time for this year.
Yeah.
Anything else that I needed to cover that isn't on the agenda? Upcoming meetings, I'm going to suggest that we do the second and fourth Wednesdays and try to find an alternate site to this one because this room is taken.
Okay.
Are Wednesdays okay for all the other board members?
The second Wednesday is the 8th,
8th,
I
and then
can't
the
do the-
22nd.
22nd.
I can't do the 8th, but I can do the 15th.
But if you can't make it, we could still potentially meet, but I'm not sure it's necessary for us to meet if you can't be here, so.
Okay.
And I can't do the 15th.
Oh, you can't, okay.
We can't do the 1st and 3rd because that's the 1st and the
Yeah.
15th.
Yeah,
If you can't make the 8th, I'd hate to delay until the 22nd.
yeah.
So does anybody have a better date?
Are you available any other day of the week?
Just not Tuesday.
Okay.
Monday night,
I have to.
6th?
I have a meeting on the 6th.
Okay.
I'm going to be returning on the 13th of January, so I'll be on vacation.
I could do the 13th, which is the Monday.
Well,
but
she's just
you're
getting
just
back.
getting back.
Yeah. Would you be able to do the agenda for me?
I've never done an agenda.
We could do the 8th, and we could actually, we could work on the,
Oh, could start opening up some of the policy stuff?
yeah, and we could do the meeting, the senior meeting.
Okay. Mr. Rabbit?
Yeah, I'm just looking right now, and so we're saying there's nothing left for December, of course, because of the holidays. And then we're back into January, and can't do the 1st. That first week is not looking good. I can do any of those. What I'm fearful of is I'm going to get a repeat of what just happened earlier with things start showing up and causing changes, and other things show up and they cause more changes, and I surprise you guys, and I did not get a good response out of that action. So I'm just thinking that if we don't have the review on the website and have a follow-up review, if I can't get 2 of those in before the conference, it ain't gonna be
Oh,
pretty.
we can
And
do-
I guarantee it won't be
So the
what you
question
think.
was, can you do the 8th and the 22nd?
The 8th, yes, I can, and the 22nd, I can, yes.
So, yeah, you can
let's
put
stay
your
focused
draft on the 8th and
Yeah,
finalize it on the
yeah.
22nd.
Right, the problem is Linda won't be here.
She'll be, not here on the 8th, but she'll be here on the 22nd.
Yeah,
So we can go through it, the 3 of us, on the 8th.
okay.
So let's shoot for the 8th and the 22nd. We will have to have an alternate site than this one because this one's taken.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave it to you to take care of all the
So,
logistics.
well, actually, so I'll have to start taking care of that on Monday then for the 8th.
Huh?
Will you do the agenda?
Or tomorrow.
Well,
Well, we're coming in to sign it, we can
well,
certainly.
we can
well,
talk about it, getting it together tomorrow.
Okay.
I just have to make sure it's,
So I'm going to project further out. Beginning in February, I'm wondering if we could land on a first and third Wednesday regular meeting so that we can plan on Zoom coverage, we can plan on the PAC, and we can all plan on our calendars. So does anybody have a problem with either the first or third Wednesday beginning February?
what's the date?
That would be
for
the 5th
I would suggest
And the-
through May, by the way.
and the
What are the dates
19th.
in February?
May's the election.
In February, the first Wednesday is the 5th.
Yeah,
And the 19th.
The third Wednesday is the 19th.
Okay.
It is school vacation, but it's okay for me that month.
And-
In March, the first Wednesday is the 5th
And the 19th. because
and the 19th.
Yep.
Okay.
In April, the first Wednesday is the 2nd. And the third Wednesday is the
16th.
16th. I can do that.
So I think we should nail those down. Are those dates okay with you, Mr. Rabbit?
yeah, so they're basically doing the 1st and 3rd of the next few months. Okay. Yeah,
February,
they-
March, and
fine.
April. We probably ought to go ahead and set up at least the first meeting in May,
Okay,
also the first Wednesday.
yeah, I won't physically be able to make the 19th, but I can certainly try and zoom in.
The 19th
the-
of March?
February 9th
Oh,
and
okay.
March 19th. No, yes, March 19th. I won't be here.
What's the first Wednesday in
February
In-
5th,
the
May.
fifth?
May is the 7th,
Okay.
Okay.
and the third one is the 21st. I cannot make that one.
It's after the election. We may need to figure out a new date.
Okay.
Are there any surprises sitting there?
Just, we don't know who's going to get elected.
Oh, okay. Do you know anybody else that's dying to take your seat, Brian?
2 and 4. I don't know.
I don't. You do a
Okay.
great job.
So those are the dates we're going to shoot for? The
Yeah.
8th and, what was it, 22nd
22nd.
of January, okay? Okay, thank you. We're up to closing comments. I see we have some public here. Do you have some comments, public? Come on up. Just identify yourself and where you live, please.
Thank you for having us here. My name is Paul Grisbowski. This is my wife Stephanie.
Hi.
We live at 42 Oak Ave.
Yeah.
Linda, I've never
Spoke with
met you
you.
in person, so thank you for all your help over these years, or days. I'm thinking it's years.
Yeah.
It just feels
It
long.
feels like, I think you're aware of the problem with our property.
We are.
I want this on public record. Our home assessment on 42 Oak Ave went up in town, I want you all to hear this, 86%. I don't live on a lake. I don't live on a mountain. I don't have acreage. But it went up 86%. My husband is permanently disabled. He has dementia. I am trying to keep my family together by myself, work a full-time job, manage my home, manage my 2 children that do not live here, and take care of him and see that he has a fulfilling life and does not feel anything less than average. We have a limited income and a very tight budget. And to see these numbers, it's a disgrace. And you're eating into my ability to continue to care for him, care for my children, care for myself, and have a home to live in. This man was a mechanical engineer, designed every space shuttle that flew, designed these military aircraft that protect these United States. We do not deserve to be treated this way. And I have heard in this meeting before we arrived here that a mistake was made. And I understand the 2025 taxes can be corrected, but not the 24s, what I'm hearing. My escrow is what's coming back to cover the gap for 24 has increased my mortgage by $1,300 a month, $1,300 that I do not have. And I am hearing that actually it sounds like, if I'm piecing this together, there is some avenue to go with this 25 whatever thing, but you're not willing to do it. Is that what I'm hearing prior to getting here?
Well, I wanted you to be able to say all you needed to say. We do
Okay.
have some response here for you. We just found out about this recently, so we couldn't take any action prior to now to fix it. We certainly have a remedy for 2025. As you know, we can go ahead and file the abatement. We do believe we have an opportunity for a remedy, and it's called an 8 of 58.
Okay.
Basically, we go to the state and say, we made a terrible mistake, we'd like to correct it, and then the state has the final authority on whether or not we can correct it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
But we will be your advocates because clearly there was a
Gross
terrible
error.
mistake made on your property, and we need to get it corrected. So we will be your advocates with the state. So we will stand up in front of them and say, we made a mistake. Here's how we think it needs to be corrected, and then we'll take it to them. We don't typically use that method, that 8 of 58, but in this case, I think it's very warranted, and as far as I can tell, based upon all the information that I've seen so far, we will be pushing for helping you get those taxes fixed.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention. I'm really sorry that it happened to anybody. I'm really sorry that it happened to you in this situation. It's just, it was an error on the, well, I won't say who made the error, but there were errors made along the way, and we didn't notice it. And now that it's in front of us, I think we can do something for you.
Okay, thank you.
I
needed you to
don't-
see me.
Yeah.
I needed you to hear me. This has been very frightening, and I appreciate you
Yes.
listening, and I'm sorry I got so angry with you
No.
earlier.
Oh, gosh, no.
But I see it all just going away, and it's very frightening.
No,
I'm glad you came in. I do have the abatement form. I was going to mail it to you, so I can give you that tonight. We are going to get started on the 2025.
Okay.
And I did tell your husband on the phone. It actually was, I did call Vision. It was actually an error in the way that the condo complex cost was calculated. So we're going to be looking at both properties.
Okay.
I was on the phone with Vision. I did contact Becky Boucher, our Department of Revenue rep, to discuss 2024.
Okay.
It's too bad that you didn't come back in last year about 2024,
I'm
but
learning
we're,
all this.
Yeah.
My husband has always handled our finances.
Yeah.
This isn't brand new to me, and we're
Yeah.
fairly new Massachusetts
Sure.
residents too. So
You know,
it's,
we also had our mortgage was transferring hands in July of last year.
Oh.
So as everything was going through, we didn't get notification
Yeah.
of the tax increases to see it firsthand and respond to it. So
yep. I'm honestly, I'm just really glad that you were able to bring it to our attention now.
Yeah.
So I think we
All
can
right.
actually do something.
I appreciate it.
and we will do, 2025 is not going to be an issue with,
We'll fix
I've
it.
already mentioned it to the board, and we're going to,
We already know we're going to fix
we were working on this today, and,
I appreciate it.
yeah, and I just want you to know with the 8 of 58, we,
Okay.
One of the difficulties will be with your mortgage company and the escrow. I'm not sure how we can solve that. We'll do whatever we can.
Okay.
If you need a letter from the town that says your escrow was misstated or your tax bill was misstated so that they can reduce the escrow, I think we can figure out how to do that.
I think I do have an expert in the mortgage, my sister, and she's actually coming, and she's going to help me with the mortgage company. So I think the letter would be helpful if I could
Okay.
have
Oh,
that.
yeah, and it basically, you let us know what it needs to say and we'll
I'll
help.
ask her.
yeah.
So
I'll
we're
text her.
we're here for you.
All right, thank you, and
Yeah.
thanks for listening.
No, absolutely. I
appreciate
just-
it. Nice meeting you all.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I'm sorry, you're Carl?
Paul.
Paul, okay.
And Stephanie.
Okay. And I'm
Nice to
gonna-
meet you both.
Thank you.
Sorry it's under this situation, but
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Okay,
If you wouldn't mind, I'll
I'll
go down the,
stay.
yeah, then
Yeah,
I can
we'll
give you
stay.
the abatement applications, and again, we're going to get started on it right away.
okay, thank you both. Thank
Thank
you
you.
all
Oh,
for,
yeah.
I know Jack's out there.
Yeah.
he's out there. Jack's on the, you can look behind you and wave at him.
Hey, Stephanie, Paul, thank you so much. We feel horrible about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Anything else you wanted to say before we ask the board for comment?
That's it.
Any more comment from the board? Mr. Rabbit?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, given the fact that errors like this are like mice, you get one, you probably get a dozen. Do we have any more of those same situations with the other condos in town or anything that's gone awry? Are you aware, Linda?
None that we have identified yet.
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's always a
seems odd that we
possibility,
have
but I
one-
don't, I didn't see anything that, well,
No.
we'll take, actually, we can go back and take a look at all the condos and just see if there's anything
Yeah.
else that happened.
Yeah.
I know
There's a
they
lot-
did
a
go
good
up
idea.
last year.
It's a good idea. A lot of condos went
Yeah.
up a lot, not that much.
I mean, I wish it was worth that much.
I actually don't remember how much it was, but I remember last year when they were putting things out, they told us it was going to be a large increase for condos
Yep,
that year.
yep.
But it was not.
Was 30.
At that level.
Wasn't it 30%?
What
Yeah.
was it?
Something, I thought it was, Rena said it was 30%,
It was
I
a
don't-
lot.
It
I
went
don't
up. It was
remember.
a-
It was a lot.
because there hadn't been adjustments made, but
Right.
again,
Condos-
I guess we want to stress to the public to please check your property record card and your bill, and if you see anything that doesn't look right, please call the office. We're glad to look at
Just
that.
as a cautionary note, the bills are already sent out for printer. You're going to get a bill that doesn't reflect what we all want it to reflect.
I understand.
Just,
you saying
just,
I understand.
Yeah.
we're working it for you.
And I did speak with the tax collector, so they know about the situation.
Okay.
So I think with what you paid in the prelim, and then once we look at the value and it's adjusted, it'll,
Okay.
yeah.
Right,
No worries. Thank
right. And thank you. Thank you for reaching out to
Yeah.
us. Anything else? Okay, Mr. Rabbit?
Okay, thank you. Hey, along the same line, I recall that Michael Ray asked us for a list of the outliers, any significant outliers, right? In the selectmen's meeting? I believe that's correct. I'm pretty sure, I'll give it a 90% probability that it's correct, that he asked us to look and see and analyze if there are any ones that don't really fit well, like, in the case of Stephanie's and Paul's situation.
Has he reached out to you?
I haven't heard from him. I know that we
Car-
do,
Carter
He
came
asked that
to
in
us with a
selectmen.
request as a result of the meeting where Michael Ray reiterated the question. And we've provided information to Carter, which I've said to him directly, I assume you're going to be sharing this with the select board. So I don't know if he has or has not.
Okay.
But we've responded to Carter's request that was generated based upon that meeting.
Okay,
So-
Right. So that gives us a quick audit trail we can go take a look at and see if there are any potential outliers there.
well, Vision actually went through those, and I have a list downstairs that was provided from them with all the sales that were utilized.
Mm-hmm.
And it does show the assessment to sales ratio.
Yeah.
Oh,
then no-
but, and the question though is,
Yeah.
did anybody's taxes go up prohibitively like those? And we should be able to tell from that.
Looking at the whole list.
It's just,
Yeah.
Yep. You do a net change
Yeah.
and look at the big ones. So
We can
if
look
we need, if you need help with that, I can put together a spreadsheet from the data, once we just get the data, so.
Could actually-
We'll double check to see if we've adequately answered Michael Ray's question, which I think we have. And then we'll also do a double check to see if we have anybody else in a situation that might be similar to this one.
Yeah.
Just,
I would just go back to the same mouse hole anyway and see if there's anybody else coming out. So, yeah.
yep, so, okay,
I would do that.
thank you. Anything else?
Thank you. No, that was actually the question I was going to come up with
Okay.
Linda was, how did this really happen? And did this same occurrence happen in other condos? But we answered that already, so that's okay.
Right. Well, it appears we had two properties that were counted as one.
I did go back and look into the system because you can do an audit to see what changed and what happened, and it was changed in 2023, December of 2023. So I was able to find that out.
Okay. Great. Ms. Cammer, any comment from the board?
No.
That's why I like her.
It's been said.
I have no comment either, I think. We're all set to move on. Our next meeting will be on January 8th. Happy New Year, happy holidays, everybody. I hope they're as good as they can be.
We
Motion
hope-
to adjourn?
Any second on the motion to adjourn?
John Rabbit, second.
All in favor of adjournment? Aye. Brian LaFawn?
Aye.
Paul said yes too.
John Rabbit said aye. Sarah Camera, aye.
And we'll adjourn at 8:20. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Night.
We're all set, Matt.